With the 2022-23 season coming to an end and the playoffs are right around the corner, we have a bunch of storylines and speculation going into the postseason this year. There are some players who have a lot to prove this season, some for many reasons and some reasons are different from others. But either way, some players have something to prove if they want to have a chance at winning a championship. So the first player that has a lot to prove is Nikola Jokic. He has been a talk of the league this year with him being in talks for MVP for the third time in a row. Now, how I feel about the MVP and who deserves to win, that's irrelevant. Jokic is an amazing player and he has been playing like one of the best players in the league and he has made a name for himself over the last few seasons. He has had an impressive year and he definitely deserves to win a third MVP if he does win it. But here is the issue. He has not made it back to the conference finals since 2020. He got swept in the second round by the Suns, and then he lost in the first round to the Warriors in 5 games. Now granted, Jokic's team was not fully healthy in the last 2 seasons, but now this year, they are the first seed, and they have a lot of expectations, especially Jokic. If Jokic does not lead his team to the conference finals at least, then the conversations are going to start, and it's not going to be pretty for him. So the reigning MVP definitely has some expectations because now they really do not have any excuses. They are the first seed and debatably the best team in the league, led by Nikola Jokic, who statistically is one of the best players in the league as well. So the ball is in Jokic's court. So let's talk about his MVP rival, Joel Embiid, and also James Harden. They have both been playing better than last year, and they look to be in sync. Harden especially is playing better on the Sixers, and he is playing like he was on the Brooklyn Nets with him being the facilitator and point guard for the team. Embiid yet again is in the race for the MVP and playing like one of the best big men, if not the best big men in the league. But we are now on the 6th try with the Sixers trying to compete for a title. Time is definitely running out and is not on their side, and the fact that they have not made it to the conference finals at all is really bad. 2019, they were 1 shot away from making it to the conference finals. Then in 2020, they got swept in the first round. Then in 2021 was just downright atrocious how they lost to the Atlanta Hawks, a team that had no business beating the Sixers at all. And then last year, they did have a chance at beating the Miami Heat, but they eventually lost in 6 games. Embiid definitely has to step it up and lead this team and prove he can win a title with this squad. And Harden has a lot to prove as well. Over and over again, he has fallen short in the biggest moments in his career in the playoffs. 2014 against the Portland Trail Blazers, 2015 against the Golden State Warriors, 2017 against the San Antonio Spurs, 2018 against the Golden State Warriors yet again, and recently last season after his collapse against the Miami Heat, especially in the Game 6. Harden has to be better as well, or else he will be known as a great player that fell short in the playoffs. So do the Sixers have a chance at winning a championship? Absolutely, but Joel Embiid and James Harden definitely need to be better in the postseason if they want to win a championship. Now on to another duo, but in the Western Conference, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. As I'm recording this video, Paul George is out currently with a knee injury. There are reports saying that he will be back, but we have been patient and we are now done waiting. The Clippers, since they assembled this deal, have gotten very unlucky. They blew a 3-1 lead in the bubble against the Denver Nuggets to make the Western Conference Finals. Kawhi Leonard tore his ACL and the Clippers failed to make the finals, and then the Clippers lost in the play-in. The Clippers have been improving since the trade deadline, and they have a roster that can compete for a title in the Western Conference. And with it being so wide open record-wise, anything can happen. But with all the failures the Clippers have had for this entire franchise, they need to bounce back soon. Otherwise, this duo and this whole experiment is going to be yet another failure that the Clippers tried to do to get them a championship. Paul George will fail to win a ring, and Kawhi Leonard, his legacy definitely will take a hit for sure for him not being able to win another championship by himself. Now, surprisingly, the Clippers are my sleeper pick to possibly make it out of the West and win a championship, but they need to do better this year, or else this is just gonna be done. They're gonna dismantle it after this offseason. Now, if you watched my video on KD, you already know my views on what KD needs to do this year, but his teammate Devin Booker has a lot of expectations. Booker is an amazing player, and he definitely deserves his flowers, but at the same time, last year still happened, and it's still pretty fresh. The Phoenix Suns were up 2-0 yet again, and they lost in 7 to Luka and the Dallas Mavericks. Booker especially was horrible in Game 6 and Game 7, and Booker has not been the best in elimination games. So this year, he needs to prove a lot of people wrong and show why he's one of the best players in the league. But if he does not make it to the finals and wins, then it is not going to be pretty. That is all I'm going to say. But only time will tell. While the Phoenix Suns are not the highest seed in the Western Conference, they are still a threat to be reckoned with in the playoffs. They definitely have a lot of expectations to win a championship, because if they don't at least win this year or next year, oh man, Twitter is going to have a field day. That is all I'm going to say. Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. Man. They have been a team that nobody likes at all. And controversy aside, the Grizzlies, especially Ja, have a lot to prove. After Ja made comments about them being fine in the West and them trash talking every team, acting like they won something already and calling themselves a dynasty, they gotta back it up now, especially this year. Ja's a generational talent. They gotta prove that they are not just all talk. They are currently the second seed in the West, and they once again have been playing like a well-oiled machine, and they are a great team. But now the playoffs are about to start, so you gotta get ready. Because if this team does not make it to the conference finals at least, they will not be taken seriously, and they will just be known as a team that's all bark and no bite, especially Ja Morant and Dillon Brooks. And last but not least, and this is going to be a long one, is Jayson Tatum. For those of you who do not know, I am a big Jayson Tatum fan. I think he's one of the best players to watch, and I have been following him since his rookie year. So when I say this, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. He has the most to prove out of all of these players. There is a reason for this. The Celtics for many years have been a great team, and they had all the pieces but always fell short in making it to the finals. Jayson Tatum and the Celtics finally made it to the finals after having a dream postseason and turning it around last year. Tatum getting the praise and receiving all the Kobe comparisons, only for them to fall short in the NBA Finals. And Tatum was a main reason as to why they fell short. He was not shooting the best at all, and he was met with great defense by Andrew Wiggins, and he was not himself, which was definitely detrimental to the team, and it hurt his status as a star player. So this year, the Celtics are playing great, and Tatum is having a career year. But honestly, I don't think anyone's going to care, because people are going to be paying attention to how they do in the postseason, especially after last year. Tatum has to prove to everyone that he's a superstar and not a finals choker. He has to right the wrongs of last year's finals and redeem himself. Not only does he need to make it back to the finals, but he needs to win as well in a dominant fashion. Similar to how LeBron fell short in 2011 or Kobe did in 2008, they both bounced back the year later. So Tatum has to do the same thing. If he does not want 2022 to be a stain on his legacy for the rest of his career, he has to show up. The sky's the limit for Jayson Tatum, but will he be able to succeed? That is the question. Now, while yes, I know not every single player on this list is going to win a championship this year, but nonetheless, some players and their legacies will be looked at differently this year if things do not go right for them. But either way, we are definitely going to be in for an entertaining year of playoff basketball. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys on the next one. NBA Nerd out.